Hello everyone, my name is Elkin Ansisi Caligner and today I would like to present to you our beloved church, Ina ng Buhay Parish. In this video, we will learn the history of our church, Ina ng Buhay Parish, and its changes throughout the years. So, without further ado, let's get started. To give honor to the Blessed Virgin Mary on her 2000th birth anniversary on 1985, His Eminence Jaime L. Cardinal Sin, the Archbishop of Manila back then, initiated the establishment of a church honoring Mary as the Mother of Life, hence the name Ina ng Buhay Parish. It was the second church in the world, second to Notre Dame de Vienne in Venice, France, and first ever in Asia to honor the Blessed Virgin Mary as the Mother of Life. The Ina ng Buhay Parish in Novaliches, Quezon City was established on September 6, 1986 and had 7 parish priests bringing many different perspectives. Now, at almost 40 years old, Ina ng Buhay Parish have been through a lot of different changes throughout the years. Today, we are lucky to have someone to share with us some of the changes that happened to the Ina ng Buhay Parish.
So, good evening po.
Good evening, Elkin.
So, today po meron po tayong mga questions. So, about lang din po talaga sa ating beloved parish, Ina ng Buhay Parish. Ready na po?
Yes.
So, our first question was, what was the church like in its early years?
What was the church like in its early years? Well, we all know na the parish was established in 1986. It was actually no less than Cardinal Sin who facilitated the establishment of our parish. Because that year, actually the year before that, 1985, was the 2000th anniversary of the birthday of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So he wanted to culminate that commemoration, because it was the second millennia of her birthday. He wanted to commemorate that by establishing a parish in her name. Kasi initially, sa country natin, wala pang simbahan at that time that was consecrated or offered in the name of the Blessed Virgin Mary as the Mother of Life. There is one actually in France. That's Notre Dame de Vienne. So that's the English translation is Our Lady of Life. So dito naman sa Pilipinas, so it is first in Asia na nagkaroon ng Mother of Life, Blessed Mary, Mother of Life na simbahan. So in its early years, alam kasi natin nakakabit ng kasaysayan ng simbahan natin ang portion ng kasaysayan ng Our Lady of Mercy because it was under the territorial jurisdiction of the parish of Our Lady of Mercy, now the National Shrine. So much of our early years then ay kakabit ng mga efforts na ginawa ng Our Lady of Mercy to establish the Catholic community here as well. Of course, with the partnership of the Mong Maliit Catholic Association, and at that time, the parish priest was Reverend Monsignor Manuel Sebastian. So, ang early years natin are really encapsulated in the kind of collaboration, the kind of cooperation between this community and the larger community of Our Lady of Mercy para ma-establish din yung ating kalagayan dito bilang isang komunidad ng pananampalataya. And of course, it was a small community. And we didn't have this church. We started with a small chapel dyan sa labas ng Katipunan Street, which was named Our Lady of the Miraculous Mercy. So, when the church was established, dahil wala pa tayong parish church talaga, yung operations natin, lalo na yung mga misa natin, they were conducted dito sa Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal, which now is another building. And of course, the community was just beginning. Iba naman kasi yung alam natin na sila ay kabilang sa Our Lady of Mercy na parish, at iba din naman yung may sarili na silang parokya. So when this was established, and this is from my interviews with earlier parish pastoral council presidents and other residents na who came from ano pa, the time when Our Lady of Mercy pa tayo. It was a small community, and then when this was established, nagkaroon pa ng mga sort of training ng mga bagong pwedeng mag-lead. Kasama dyan sila Ate Delo, if you know her, sila Ate Estela Gundalian and her husband, Kuya Benji Gundalian, who's still very much active. Kasama yan sila Ma'am Norma Pacaige, and all of our veteran leaders in the church now, sila din yung mga nagsimula nung parokya na yun. So, kumbaga, pwede mong ma-imagine in a sort of community as small as this. So, they would come in the church and then help with the preparation sa Mass, and then help with inviting other people to serve as well, dahil nga bagong parish na siya. But also, inviting other people to set foot in this place na. Kumbaga, set foot spiritually, kasi andyan pa yung babaguhin mo yung kinasanayan na sa Our Lady of Mercy sila magsisimba. Pero dahil may misa na dito, may regular masses na rito, dahil parish na rito, kasama dun sa effort na yun in the early years of our parish, yung pag-i-invite na dito kayo lumagi bilang tayo ay komunidad na ng ina ng buhay. So, yun lang naman. At, yun.
Okay po, so our second question are, what are the most noticeable changes does it have?
The most noticeable changes, siguro let's start with physical. Kasi nga, katulad sa natin ko kanina, Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal Chapel lang siya ngayon. Even that chapel, sobrang noticeable na kasi now, the chapel is not there anymore. Kumbaga, it's a residential building where a few people live there, but the chapel is not there anymore, so that's one of the most noticeable changes. Pangalawa is, of course, the parish church itself. Yung structure in itself, it took about 1 or 2 years, I think 1, after the establishment para matayo yung parish church. Although, I am not very certain kung yung lote natin was the same lot na when we started or nagkaroon ng mga purchase, pero from my research, hindi naman lumabas na may mga additional purchase ng land. So, because this land was donated by a certain benefactor na taga dito din. So, ito na talaga yung land na kinaiikutan ng parokya natin. The architecture of the church was how it was back then. But of course, nagdaan yan ng maraming reconstructions, renovations. The most notable was when Father Danny Pahariliaga was assigned in the parish. Kasi talagang sa simula ng administration ni Father Danny, umusbong na rin yung napakarami nating mga features sa simbahan, tulad ng Rosary Wall, tulad ng life-size Station of the Cross, yung garden reception natin na pinaganda. So those are the things na naging legacy ni Father Danny na back then wala pa. And back in 1991, the church started as it was, pero back in 1991, dito na nagkaroon na school, the Ina ng Buhay Catholic School. Of course, it started with a very few grade levels. Hindi ko lang kabisado kung gano'ng kadami, pero that started with Father Joey Miranda. So yan yung one of the most notable kasi lumago ang Catholic INBCS. Now, it can cater to senior high school students already. And then some of our leaders here, kunyari yung mga leaders na dati sa Parish Youth Ministry, are now teachers and officials dito sa Ina ng Buhay Catholic School. So you can see, may continuation, but also there's an element of constant. The physical structure is constant, pero the leadership nag-iiba. So, but before I go there, yung physical pa rin. Itong kinakatayuan natin ngayon, the multipurpose hall, this was not erected until the time of Father Chris Santos. So this is a very notable building for our parish kasi a lot of activities happen here. And talagang naging useful itong building na to sa operations ng parish natin. Maidagdag ko lang sa time ni Father Danny, we had a chapel here. Well, of course, we still have a chapel here, but the landscaping of the chapel was entirely different back then. Kasi nung ginawa itong multipurpose hall na to, that chapel had to be included sa renovation at sa revamping. So nagbago na rin yung itsura ng chapel. Kasi noon, meron pang konting mga gardenscapes in chapel, and then it was just a small chapel. Now it's a bit larger. At that time, the art as well, yung art sa gitna, kung saan tayo nag-Easter sa Lugo, si Father Danny din ang talagang nagpaganda niyan. Kaya nga, at that time, ang tinatawag nila, ang moniker nila sa time ni Father Danny is Ina ng Buhay, Buhay na Buhay. Which I think we still use, but not so much now, pero we still use every so often. Buhay na buhay, kasi talagang binigyan ng kulay ni Father Danny, and of course his leaders and the benefactors and everyone, collective effort naman yun. Binigyan nila ng kulay yung simbahan na dati just a simple structure. When it comes to leadership naman, mapapansin natin na starting sa administration ni Father Ralph, medyo nagkaroon na talagang major change in the leadership in the sense that medyo may differentiation na talaga between new leaders and then the veteran leaders that we had. Kasi up until sa time ni Father Chris Santos, the leaders that we had then were still the leaders that started the church. So, katulad kanina, sinabi ko sila Renji, sila Ate Peloy, sila Ma'am Norma. So, they were still talagang active sa leadership positions in the time of Father Chris. But now, in the time of Father Ralph, makikita natin iba na yung mga mukha. Iba na rin yung mga leadership ng mga bata, sa PYN, leadership sa lectors and communicators. Although our veteran leaders are still here, serving with us very vibrantly, very active. Pero you can see na it's a notable change. So, because up until that time, we could consider our church a young church, 10 years, 15 years. And now we are going, how old are we? 37? 40? 30? Almost 40 na tayo. So medyo may mga generational may mga generational changes na sa leadership din natin. Maski naman sa mga mandated organizations natin, mararamdaman natin yan na ang mga mukha ng mga liderato natin iba-iba na rin. Pero of course, with the guidance pa rin of our veteran leaders from back then, who katulad na sabi ko, are still serving. Of course, when it comes to yung dami ng misa, dami ng activities, iba-iba naman yun. Pero ang notable change lang din sa atin is mas dumami yung misa natin. And what we can say is talagang nagbago rin yung simbahan natin after the COVID-19 pandemic. Number one dyan, yung proliferation ng natin, social communications and media ministry, na hanggang ngayon medyo central pa rin sa operations ng church, kasi hanggang ngayon may live stream pa din. Kasama dyan yung bagong install natin na camera na napakamahal pero napakaganda, kasama ng sound system. So yun, nakikita naman natin na although may mga notable changes, we adapt to those changes. Yun.
For our last question naman po, what was the most remarkable experience you had here in Ina ng Buhay Parish?
Medyo tall order when you say most remarkable, kasi as servers, and you would know this because you're a server as well. Sobrang dami nangyayari sa buhay nating mga server na hirap ikumpara sa iba-ibang experiences din ng buhay natin. Siguro, kumbaga, most remarkable, I have to say for myself, when I started serving, kasi nagsimula lang naman talaga ako mag-serve. I wasn't a part of anything. I wasn't a part of the parish ministry. Wala akong pakialam sa kahit saan. I had to serve kasi sa where the university I came from, University of Santo Tomas, merong requirement na parish involvement. So that's 25 hours. At that time, my mother was a member of the lectors and commentators. Ang coordinator namin nun si Miss Marilyn Quezon. So, medyo binreach ako ng nanay ko sa lecom. Sabi ng coordinator nga namin nun, si Ate Len, ito hindi lang to 25 hours, panghabang buhay ito. So, medyo totoo naman siya kasi hanggang ngayon, hindi ko naman din in-expect na tatagal ako ng ganito. Kasi at that time, kala ko, 1 year, 2 years, aalis na ako. Hanggang sa, nag-grow na rin ako. Kasabay nung, personally, I have grown with the church as well, with the parish community. So, nabilang ako sa lectors and commentators, and then, I was one of the founding members of the SOCOM. Even before it was called the SOCOM, kasama ko na ako, sila Ate Joy, sila Kuya Bien, sa time pa ni Father Ralph, we were all ganging up together na to form a kind of a team na nag-handle ng communications and social media. Until na-discover ako ni Father Ralph, and he came to me and said, ikaw ang sekretary ko. So, naging sekretary ako ng Parish Pastoral Council, which I hold until now, and which I plan to vacate very soon. The remarkable thing about serving is it's one whole event. It's not separate events. So, minsan nakikita ko yung sarili ko from point zero when I started serving up until this point, and all of it is just one experience. Na marami kang feelings, marami kang pinagdaanan sa years na yun, but it's all just culminates into one experience of faith, one experience of community, and then one experience of finding yourself where you belong. So I think, to simplify it, the most remarkable experience is to really I have found a community, a place where kabilang talaga ako. Whether in whatever part of my life is, nung bata pa ako, hanggang sa ngayon na medyo matanda-tanda ako, hugod na yung tuhod ko. So the most remarkable thing about it is, you find Jesus there, and then you build a community there, and you belong there. So that's what Unanang Buhay Parish is to me, personally. So yun.
Ganda na ako ng sagot nito. So, ayun po. We're all done.
Thank you. Salamat din, LCU. Salamat.
Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you were able to learn at least a little bit of something about our beloved parish. And with that, thank you and goodbye.